Good evening and welcome to Ignite News on 6 at 6. It's Thursday, May 1st, 2025. I'm Rihanna Nikram. Thanks for joining us. Here are the highlights. The International Court of Justice has ordered Venezuela to halt any plans to hold or prepare for elections in the Esequibo region, which is currently administered by Guyana. Doubleday hotel owner released, barred from leaving Guyana. Leaders across Guyana today reaffirmed their commitment to workers' rights and economic empowerment as the nation celebrates Labor Day 2025. And Guyana's gas-to-energy project has been named Deal of the Year by the Export-Import Bank of the United States. The International Court of Justice has ordered Venezuela to halt any plans to hold or prepare for elections in the Esequibo region, which is currently administered by Guyana. The ruling, handed down today, is part of a reaffirmation of provisional measures first issued in December 2023 in the ongoing border case between Guyana and Venezuela over the validity of the 1899 arbitral award. The ICJ also reminded that Venezuela must not take any actions that would alter the current situation in the territory. They called on both countries to avoid steps that could escalate the dispute or make it harder to resolve. The court instructed that all measures be implemented immediately and effectively. Guyana's government welcomed the decision, calling it a significant legal victory and a reaffirmation of the country's consistent position under international law. The case continues at the ICJ, where Guyana seeks a final ruling that confirms the boundaries set by the 1899 award. Leaders across Guyana today reaffirmed their commitment to workers' rights and economic empowerment as the nation joined the rest of the world in observing Labor Day 2025. In his message, President Dr. Irfan Ali described the day as a time to honor the historic and heroic struggles of workers around the globe. He assured the labor movement that the government remains a firm ally in protecting workers' rights. The president also emphasized that Guyanese workers will continue to share in the country's economic growth with steady improvements in real incomes, housing, water and sanitation, social security, and reduced energy costs. These gains, he said, are part of a broader strategy to help citizens build both personal and generational wealth. President of the Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Union, Sipal Narain, also paid tribute to the resilience and contributions of Guyana's working people, highlighting their critical role in shaping the nation's progress.
Workers power this nation. Despite the odds and challenges of adjusting to a fast-growing economy, our workers continue to give their best. You are the foundation upon which Guyana's progress stands. And yes, comrades, Guyana is progressing. We are seeing a transformation that not long ago felt like a dream. Massive investments in infrastructure, expansion of social services, and renewed attention to agriculture, housing, energy, education, and healthcare are all reshaping our country for the better. We acknowledge that the government has undertaken several pro-worker initiatives, from improved accession to education, vocational training, to expanded healthcare coverage and housing solutions. These are policies with a human face.
At the annual Labor Day rally in Georgetown, Guyana Trade Union Congress, GTUC, General Secretary Lincoln Lewis reiterated the call for greater respect for workers' rights. He renewed several demands to support the working class, including the introduction of unemployment benefits through the National Insurance Scheme to aid workers during difficult times.
Launch unemployment benefit through the NIS. You know, since 1969, the NIS was established. The Act makes provision for unemployment benefit, but was never activated. We're demanding that we get the money. Let me put it there. Let people get NIS, let people get unemployment benefit. If a man get knocked out from work this weekend, and you get a job till next month, 9 months, by the time you get a job, you got further down in poverty. Let us get NIS unemployment benefit in place that can help that man through 6 or 9 months.
Also speaking on the sidelines of the rally, Alliance for Change leader Nigel Hughes made the call for healthcare of the working class to be of the highest international standard and for significant improvements in wages and salaries. The local labor force has seen major expansion and training under the current government, Vice President Dr. Barjak Dio said on Wednesday. Speaking at his weekly press briefing at Freedom House, the Vice President noted that job creation initiatives and skills programs are transforming the employment landscape.
We have now 60,000 people who are working, who are now working at that time. So you know the dignity of work is so important to people. If they don't have work, and then almost it changes their whole outlook on life if they can't find a job. Not everyone has a job. Not everyone has a job that they want because they're aspiring for a better job, and we have to work towards that. But at least 60,000 people more are working now than who were working under APNU.
According to Dr. Jagdio, the government's approach is grounded in job creation, not merely cash handouts, with increased employment across sectors including oil and gas, sugar, retail, and bauxite. He contrasted the current administration's record with that of its predecessor, saying it was marked by job losses and a decline in business even before the COVID-19 pandemic. The government, he said, has worked diligently to address these challenges. And in addition to job creation, significant emphasis is also being placed on training.
What about the quality of the labor? So the quality of labor and the opportunity to earn more comes with education. So 30,000 scholarship through the GOLD program and another 20,000 trained through WIN and the BIT. 50,000 people more paid for by the government being trained. So not just more jobs, but more training to people to get a better quality labor force. That is what we have chalked up in the 5 years.
In addition, approximately 15,000 part-time jobs are now available, with workers earning $40,000 monthly for just 10 days of work and gaining access to study opportunities. The teacher workforce has expanded from 12,000 to 15,000, while over 6,000 teachers are currently undergoing training. Public sector workers, Dr. Jagdio noted, now receive $105 billion more annually in wages, benefits, and bonuses than they did in 2020. The Vice President also highlighted progress in labor rights, citing new multi-year collective bargaining agreements with the Guyana Public Service Union, the Guyana Teachers Union, and the Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Union. Nearly 5,000 workplace inspections have been conducted under improved occupational and safety laws. The Local Content Act, passed under the current government, has also compelled oil and gas companies to hire nearly 10,000 Guyanese workers. We'll be right back with more Ignite News after these messages. Stay with us.
We're for the brave, for tenacity. Here's to the up and at 'em types. We're for the crafters, the drafters, and the ones who clean up after. Here's to the dream makers and the risk takers, because we know what it takes. From mobility to high-speed internet to technology that makes it easy for your business. We're for brave, we're for business, and we're in this together. Bravo.
Welcome back to Ignite News on 6 at 6. Attorney General Andal Nandalal is raising concerns over repeated delays in the high-profile fraud case involving Adanika Alder, the wife of dismissed Assistant Police Commissioner Calvin Brutus. Alder, along with her husband and others, is facing over 200 charges related to multi-million-dollar fraud involving public funds. The case has stalled after Alder was granted permission by Acting Chief Magistrate Faith McGusty to travel to the United States for medical treatment last December, despite an earlier refusal by a high court judge. Although a return date was set, she remains overseas, leading to multiple adjournments. During his weekly Issues in the News program on Facebook, Nandal stressed that the case is of national importance and expressed concern that justice may be undermined by the repeated delays.
This older person is charged with Brutus and others in 200 odd cases of fraud. This matter is occupying national and regional attention. Guyana received an award for the investigations done in this matter. It got a Best Case Award at the level of the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force. We got a Best Case Award for the amount of work done and the level and quality of investigations done.
According to Nandlal, the court has been informed that the accused is waiting for a passport several months after she would have likely received the urgent medical attention for which she traveled.
This, again, is a matter of national public importance. Hundreds of millions of dollars of public funds have allegedly been defrauded in these cases.
Alder is facing charges of money laundering involving over $400 million illegally deposited funds into accounts belonging to her business. She is accused along with her husband of trying to defraud the state using police vouchers. The owner of Doubleday Hotel, who was taken into custody in connection with the death of Adriana Young, has been released. The Guyana Police Force has confirmed that following the 72 hours detention period allowed by law, the businessman was released without charges. He has been instructed to report to the police station daily as investigations continue. Authorities have also taken steps to prevent the hotel owner from fleeing the jurisdiction. The Immigration Department has officially blacklisted him, prohibiting any attempts to leave the country while the investigation remains active. In a significant development, DNA samples from the hotel owner and the late Adriana Young were collected and will be flown to New York this evening. A forensic investigator will escort the samples to the Mount Sinai Health System for advanced analysis and testing. The GPF also disclosed that several personnel have been placed on administrative leave due to the involvement in procedural errors that affected the early stages of the investigation. Among them is Assistant Commissioner Khalid Mandal, who will remain on leave pending the outcome of the probe. A civilian staff member stationed at the command center in the day in question admitted to investigators that she entered the wrong date while reviewing security footage from the vicinity of the Doubleday Hotel. Her mistake allegedly led to a false report indicating that a woman resembling Young was seen leaving the premises with a man. Vice President Bar Jagdeo has condemned Monday's acid attack on 3 pupils and 2 teachers at Chatu Margot Primary School, calling it a deliberate act of terror meant to instill fear among families. Speaking at his weekly press briefing, Jagdeo demanded the immediate arrest and prosecution of those responsible for the attack. The assault occurred when 2 men on motorcycles threw a corrosive substance suspected to be acid on the victims outside the school, located on the east coast of Demerara.
Children raises a lot of emotions in our country, rightfully so. People are concerned. And it could be any child. Your child walking along with a group like what happened there, and somebody randomly comes up and throws something on them. And it was designed to create fear. So I hope they have footages of these people. I hope that they get arrested, they will be arrested, and then get charged for attempted murder, so they'll sit in prison a long time. And maybe then they can tell us about the intellectual authors of this fear. This didn't happen just like that. It was designed to spread fear into parents. And this is not just about Indo-Guyanese parents. Just so happened that it was done in an Indo-Guyanese community. Again, to spread fear there. But imagine if you're a parent, regardless of where you live, and you have your child, you're worried now about that.
The victims sustained non-life-threatening injuries. In response, President Dr. Irfan Ali met with affected teachers and pupils. Education Minister Priya Manik Chan also condemned the act, calling it an act of evil. Attorney General Anand Nandlal and his issues in a news program confirmed that the suspects could face charges under Section 309E of the Criminal Law Offense Act, which covers penalties for terrorist acts. Convicted offenders could face 10 to 15 years in prison and fines starting at $500,000. Stay tuned, more news and updates coming your way after this break.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up, fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Welcome back to Ignite News. Guyana's Gas to Energy project has been named Deal of the Year by the Export-Import Bank of the United States, US EXIM, marking a major milestone in the country's energy transformation. At the US EXIM 2025 annual conference in Washington, D.C., Senior Minister Dr. Ashni Singh accepted the award on behalf of the government of Guyana. Representing President Dr. Irfan Ali, Dr. Singh hailed the project as truly transformative and highlighted its potential to double the country's electricity generation capacity while cutting electricity costs by up to 50%. The project is seen as a game changer for Guyana, reducing the electricity burden on households and businesses. Dr. Singh also emphasized that the award reflects the growing strength of the partnership between Guyana and the United States. This is the first collaboration of its kind between Guyana and US EXIM, with plans to expand cooperation in areas like port security, trade, and food security. The Gas to Energy project is set to play a pivotal role in both Guyana's energy transition and economic growth. The state-of-the-art regional hospital Diamond East Bank Demerara is set to open soon, with construction nearing completion. Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony provided an update during a site inspection on Sunday, joined by engineers, contractors, and ministry officials. According to the minister, most of the medical equipment has been installed and is undergoing testing, while staff training is also in progress. He explained that once training is completed, the hospital will be ready to open. The hospital, built by Sinopharm, will serve around 40,000 residents in Diamond and surrounding communities, offering access to advanced health care. It will help reduce the need for patients to travel to Georgetown for similar treatments. Key features of the facility include 75 inpatient beds, 2 operating theaters, a minor surgery theater, advanced laboratories, and a 24-hour accident and emergency department. It will also offer digital X-rays and CT scans as part of its comprehensive imaging area. Excitement is in the air as final preparations wrap up at the Railway Courtyard in Georgetown for the first ever Origins Fashion Festival, set for May 2nd to 4th. The event will spotlight 34 designers and over 68 models, marking a major milestone for Guyana's growing fashion industry. On Wednesday, Ministers Onij Waldron and Kwame McCoy, co-chairs of the festival, met with designers, models, and support teams to ensure a smooth launch. Minister McCoy said the event aligns with President Dr. Irfan Ali's vision for a globally competitive fashion sector in Guyana. According to the minister, public interest is high, as VIP passes sold out in just 30 minutes. Only a few general passes remain on the official website, www.origins.gy. Minister Waldron has promised a world-class production, noting that the festival will not only feature nightly runway shows, but also daytime workshops to support upcoming fashion professionals and entrepreneurs. We'll be right back with more Ignite News after these messages. Stay with us. Welcome back to Ignite News on 6 at 6. In international news, Ukraine and the United States yesterday signed a major agreement giving Washington preferential access to Ukrainian mineral deals and creating a joint investment fund for Ukraine's reconstruction. The agreement was signed in Washington following months of tense negotiations. This accord is central to President Trump's push for a peace settlement in Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine, now in its third year. It also marks a key step in rebuilding ties between Kyiv and the Trump administration. The relationship has been strained since Trump took office. The U.S. Treasury shared a photo on X, formerly Twitter, showing Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Ukrainian First Deputy Prime Minister Yulia Shrividenko signing the document. The Treasury said the deal clearly signals the Trump administration's commitment to a free, sovereign, prosperous Ukraine.
Thanks to President Trump's tireless efforts to secure a lasting peace, I am glad to announce the signing of today's historic economic partnership agreement between the United States and Ukraine, establishing the United States-Ukraine Reconstruction Investment Fund. This partnership allows the United States to invest alongside Ukraine to unlock Ukraine's growth assets, mobilize American talent, capital, and governance standards that will improve Ukraine's investment climate and accelerate Ukraine's economic recovery. The Development Finance Corporation will participate and help to establish this fund in collaboration with the government of Ukraine. Today's agreement signals clearly to Russian leadership that the Trump administration is committed to a peace process centered on a free, sovereign, and prosperous Ukraine over the long term.
According to a Reuters report, Shrividenko noted on X that the U.S. will contribute financially to the fund and hinted at possible additional support. In addition to direct financial contributions, it may also provide new assistance, for example, air defense systems for Ukraine, she wrote. The U.S. has not confirmed that detail. One of Japan's busiest bullet train lines was temporarily shut down yesterday after a snake got tangled in a power line, causing an outage. The incident affected the route between Tokyo and Osaka around 5:25 p.m. local time. Services resumed by 7 p.m. according to the Central Japan Railway Company. The disruption happened during Golden Week, one of Japan's peak travel seasons. Trains were halted in both directions between Shin Osaka and Nagoya. Long lines formed at stations as passengers waited. One frequent traveler said it was the first time he'd seen anything like it. Punjab Kings all-rounder Glenn Maxwell will miss the rest of the Indian Premier League season after injuring his right hand. The Australian cricketer was ruled out before Wednesday's match against Chennai Super Kings, with his captain confirming a fractured finger. Maxwell, 36, has had a mixed season, featuring in 7 of the Kings' 9 matches, but struggling with the bat. He scored single-digit totals in 5 of 6 innings, with a best of just 30. Despite his batting woes, he has contributed with the ball, taking 4 wickets at an average of 27.5. Purchased for about £390,000 at the preseason auction, Maxwell is the second overseas player from the Kings to be sidelined early. The first was New Zealand's Lockie Ferguson, who injured his leg in mid-April. Interim manager Aaron Ramsey has urged Cardiff City owner Vincent Tan to quickly appoint a new manager to give fans clarity after the club's relegation to League One. According to the BBC, Ramsey says the new boss needs to be someone who can grab and galvanize the club so that supporters can buy in to the future of the Welsh side. The 34-year-old, who has taken charge of City's last 2 matches after Omar Riza's departure, has played down his own chances of taking the job. He has openly stated that his short-term plans are to return to playing and recovering from a hamstring injury. And that's all for this edition of Ignite News on 6 at 6. For more stories, visit ignitenews.com or follow us on social media. Thanks for watching. I'm Rihanna Nikram. See you tomorrow for more Ignite News.